Welcome once again to a new series of talk called Fierce Gentleness. It's important to go back to the introduction if you're just jumped onto this second episode. I'll cover in detail what this is all about. The short of it is about character development and using character development as a path to awakening. So please go back into this. The first episode that we did after that was Begin in Stillness. This speaks to being in a meditative state of mind on a continuous basis. To be still means that you don't have a lot of activity going on that's over and above what you're supposed to be doing. So that's the short of that. You'll notice I'm wearing a hat, and there's these black flickers all over the place, and those are these bugs that come out that are very dedicated this time of year, and this has a little bit of stuff on it to keep them from landing on me so we don't do either one of us any harm. And that's the title of this second episode, To Do No Harm. So we'll begin from there. There is no such thing as a small harm. Each one leaves a thread behind. Doing no harm is not passivity. It's not weakness or spiritual hesitation. It is a fierce choice to walk cleanly, even when you have no reason to do so. In a world so full of hurt, it's easy to just add more. We'll tell ourselves that it's just words, just business, just human nature. But harm accumulates. Every sharp glance, every false word, every manipulation or dismissal, they leave a residue, not just in others, but also in ourselves. To do no harm is to live without leaving residue. It's not perfection. It's a way of standing in the world that leaves others intact, even when you disagree, even when you must act with force or finality. This principle doesn't mean that you won't cut. A surgeon cuts, a sword cuts, but what matters is whether or not the cut is clean. Whether or not it heals, whether or not it is necessary, and whether it came from stillness and not from anger. To do no harm means never. To do harm doesn't mean never upsetting others. It means not acting from your own wounds, your own fear, your own need to be right. It means no harm from neglect, no harm from ego, no harm from using people, even subtly. And when you do cause harm, as we inevitably do, you own it, you meet it. You do not hide from the wounds you've made. That too is part of doing no harm. As Rumi would say, you raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. Now we're going to start talking about how we practice this, get it out of philosophy and get it right into daily life. We should always pause before reacting and maybe ask ourselves, is what I'm about to say necessary? Will this leave the other more whole or more fractured? Is this action coming from clarity or from the self trying to protect itself? So we use our day as a mirror. In every exchange, we look back. Did I add peace to that moment, or did I take it away? Did I make someone feel seen, or did I make them feel smaller? Live gently, but not timidly. Your footsteps can be firm without crushing. Your presence can be full without crowding others. Some common misunderstandings or mistakes is that this principle is not about being liked. It's not about people pleasing or spiritual niceness. Sometimes doing no harm means telling the hard truth. Sometimes it means walking away. Sometimes it means setting a boundary so firm that it shakes the ground beneath someone. But it always comes from stillness. And again, the stillness is a place of not self-centered. Never from spite. To do no harm, especially to yourself. If you allow others to harm you because you're afraid to speak, that harm too will echo outward. A thought while we're in the middle of this is leave no wound behind you. Walk through this world like water through a stream bed. As it shapes, it flows, it cleanses, never breaking what need not be broken. Now let's talk a little bit more about how to practice this. You pause at the edge of an interaction. Now let's bring to mind a recent interaction, something ordinary, maybe even forgettable. You can close your eyes. Sense that edge of reaction. I'm coming to the body now. Was there tightness in the chest? Was there a sharp word waiting at the lips? A subtle withdrawal from the belly, the jaw, or the throat? You're pulling back. Feel that moment again, not to judge it, but to witness it. Where was the harm beginning? Where was it in thought, the tone, the energy? We'll often talk about this as where thought begins. The more you practice somatically, you'll realize that many reactions start at the body, and then they're in the mind, and then they loop. So this idea of looking back at the body, looking at where tightness might be, is a way of distangling that. Feel that moment again, not to judge, but to witness it. Where was the harm beginning? Again, was it in the thought, the tone, or the energy? Now go deeper. Trace that impulse that caused the harm, however small, back to its origin. Was I afraid originally when I went into it? Was I trying to control? Was I defending a self-image? Let the body speak. Now, all of these going back to that. Was I afraid? Was I trying to control? Was I defending a self-image? All of those are pointing to self-centered. Let the body speak. Don't analyze. Just feel. Where does this defensiveness live? Where does fear rise? Where does a need to be right settled? Let awareness wrap gently around that place. Just sit with it. Breathe into it. Not trying to fix it. Not fleeing. As Guagu has said many times, recognition itself is enough. You don't have to try to justify it or work around it. Just see where it showed up in the body. As we always say, continue to learn how to relax your body in all situations by noticing tension in the chest or the abdomen or the shoulders, and then just relaxing down through. You can actually break that kind of cognitive loop that is mostly fear-based. And from fear comes all these other self-centered activity. Now you can actually rest your hand on your chest or your belly, breathing in and breathing out, and bringing kindness into the body, not sentiment, but sincerity, not justification, not us versus them, but just this feeling of peace. Say inwardly, I commit to walking cleanly. I will not confuse pain with permission for my reaction. We shouldn't be saying, oh, you made me do this. I will not pass on what I haven't healed. You did this to me, so I'm doing that to you. That's self-centered. That is doing harm. Feel the body soften as you relax, just a little. The softness isn't weakness. It is a power of not passing harm forward. Maybe if you're walking, we'll call this move with integrity. You stand up slowly and you take 3 mindful steps. Feel each step, and in each step silently say, let no harm follow me. Feel the space around you. Let your presence be firm and free of residue. You're still strong. You're clean. And the way to integrate this is before responding to any conflict, touch your heart or your belly. What am I about to pass forward? Reflect each evening. Where did I leave something better? Where may I have left a wound? Practice a clean, kind no. Refuse with clarity. Set boundaries from stillness. Remember, to do no harm does not mean avoiding impact. It means every impact comes from clarity, not from your own unexamined wound. So when you respond from this clarity, not old wounds. Now, how do we build character from this? To do no harm is to live in reverence. It is not passivity, but restraint guided by deep seeing. This character quality reflects fierce compassion, one that refuses to contribute to the world's confusion, even when provoked. It is a form of moral clarity rooted in presence, not in preference, not in self. Some false ideas of what character would be in doing no harm. Ego interprets do no harm as people pleasing or avoidance or self-erasure. Self-erasure is kind of funny. Like, oh, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. But I is all wrapped into there. It fears conflict and calls it peace. It clings to niceness while silently judging, repressing, or enabling harm through inaction. How do we cross this boundary from self to not self? When the self relaxes, there's no agenda to protect, only awareness moving through in tune with reality. From this space, not harming becomes a natural because there's no other to defend against. Every interaction is with oneself seen rightly. Let's put that into a daily example of someone's really angry and they're coming at you with anger. If you, oh, they're angry at me. They shouldn't be angry at me. Oh my goodness, why are they attacking me? They're not attacking you. Even if they are, they're attacking what they think, who they think you are. That's not you. There's no need to defend that. As long as you get wrapped up in you think they're coming after you, you're a puppet on their string. It's not you. On the other end, to do no harm is to take responsibility for your impact without contracting around it, justifying it. Sometimes it means silence. Sometimes it means saying the hard thing with love. It is willingness to be clear, even if that clarity disrupts comfort. It is gentleness that doesn't flinch, so that person that attacks you is like, all right, hang on there, partner. I know you're angry about something. I'm here to help you. I can do what I can, but I'm not going to be your sounding board. Not like that. Or don't expect me to respond as if, I accept the words that are coming to you because I know you don't mean me. So that's a way of accepting or taking responsibility for your impact without contracting around it, justifying it. One line out of Fierce Gentleness, you can wrap up this with this, is harm ends where awareness begins. And awareness, of course, in this aspect is the awareness of acting with reverence to others, being compassionate, but that doesn't mean you're getting stepped on. It means you're telling the hard truth, acting from what is real. Thank you.